Physician-assisted suicide. What is physician-assisted suicide? It is suicide with the help of a physician or possibly even another healthcare worker. Why might somebody want this? Some people may be physically or mentally sick, maybe even overwhelmed, and feel like they cannot handle it anymore, so they may ask a physician or another healthcare worker to end their life for them. This is a picture of someone saying, "Doctor, please help me not kill myself when I feel overwhelmed. Don't kill me." This is just an example that it can happen. People get overwhelmed and they feel like they can't take it anymore. This can be most common in cancer patients and terminally ill patients. You might wonder how they do this. The physician will typically use a lethal drug to complete the process. This is why it is physician-specific typically, because they are the ones out of the few who are even able to administer medication under their license. You might wonder why this is an ethical dilemma. This is an ethical dilemma because healthcare workers take an oath to do no harm to their patients. They are required to do the best they can for their patients and get them back to their best health. With that being said, they have to respect the patient's rights. When I was reading through the Medical Code of Ethics, something that stood out to me was this principle that stated, "A physician shall be dedicated to providing competent medical care with compassion and respect for human dignity and rights." The principle is stating that the physician should provide helpful medical care to the patient with compassion and respect for the patients and their rights. Personally, to me, helping someone die is not compassionate. I'm against this because I personally do not believe that suicide is okay regardless of how it is done. It affects people all around you in your life. Also, most patients who are in this state of mind are not mentally prepared, just like that picture that girl was saying, "Just because I'm overwhelmed, don't let me end my life." Some people may believe it is their only choice, but no one knows the future. Cancer can go away. Terminal illnesses can be accommodated for. Although I'm against it, I understand why people are for it. I understand everyone has a right to their own life and how they want to live it. But something to think about with this statement is someone who chooses to do meth, heroin, and other drugs chooses to do that, but it's still illegal and they can still get in trouble and go to jail or even prison. In the end, it is ultimately their decision to decide what they believe is right and wrong. A personal experience that I have to share is when I was in middle school, my best friend's dad was going through a hard time in his life and he committed suicide by hanging himself in their garage. My best friend got off the bus with her little brother and they both found him hanging there. Ever since then, neither of them have been the same. One of the first things she did was call me and I immediately went to be with her. She was scarred for life after seeing that. She came to live with me for at least a few weeks, if not more, after it happened. I was there with her through it all and she still struggles with it every day. Although it was not my family, he was like my family, and it was hard to go through. I understand that this isn't physician-assisted suicide, but it is still a type of suicide, and it has the same effects. There is something called a living will, and it is a written document that states the medical treatments you want and do not want to be used to keep you alive. I think this could take partial place of the physician-assisted suicide because if you're in the hospital and you're sick and you're tired of fighting, you have every right to refuse any more treatment, which most of the time the treatment is being given to you to keep you alive and better your health. Therefore, stopping the treatment could kill you, which is legally allowed because you no longer want the treatment. I think this is just a more clear statement than having your physician end your life right there. Physician-assisted suicide is legal in 10 states, including California, Colorado, Hawaii, Maine, New Jersey, Oregon, Vermont, Washington State, and DC. The 10th state where it is legal is Montana, but here it is only legal by court ruling. You might wonder why it is considered illegal. According to Ryan Anderson, Senior Research Fellow in American Principles and Public Policy, he states that physician-assisted suicide would be a grave mistake for 4 reasons, and this is why a lot of states classify it as illegal. It would endanger the weak and vulnerable, which I had stated previously, that when people get overwhelmed or depressed or their mental health declines, they get weak and vulnerable and want to just end it all. It would corrupt the practice and hinder the relationship between the physicians and their patients. This is kind of saying that the patients may think, oh, well, I have a right to it, so that's what I want. And the physician may think that the patient shouldn't have it or doesn't need it, like there's no reason for them to. And the physician isn't always going to agree with the patient. Some physicians may not feel like this is right, and some may feel like it is, but that's how it could hinder the relationship between the patients, and it could corrupt the practice because people would probably take advantage of it. Third, it would compromise the family and intergenerational commitments. Fourth, it would betray human dignity and equality before the law. In my personal opinion, my generation suffers from depression, anxiety, and many more mental disorders. And just from the news and social media, you can see they do not handle it well at all. Physicians-assisted suicide would be an out for them. They would think it would be a way to solve their problems and fix everything, even though it would not be. I definitely think circumstances like this is a prime example on why it should not be allowed. And you never know the future. Your cancer can be gone, your terminal illness can be fixed. There could be a medical advancement that can fix stuff, and you would never know because you chose to end your life. In conclusion, I'm against physician-assisted suicide, and the effects it can have on people and the others surrounding them. And these are the resources I used.